There's nothing quite like the sheer joy of riding your bike, the exhilaration of zipping past trees, the fresh air on your face. It transports you back to your childhood. Well, the bikes we used to know are swiftly changing, transporting us to the future. Hop on board because we're about to show you how cycling is evolving. Nowadays, there isn't a facet of life that hasn't yet been embraced by the wonders of technology. So why should cycling be any different? Sleek, high-tech e-bikes are taking daily transportation in new directions.
Well, I think nowadays, with cycling, number one, developing as a sport, and then also, people are looking to alternative options, and in this case, a bicycle with a motor would be typically something that would be a good solution to a problem that's starting to arise in the South African market. Specifically, when you look at group sets nowadays becoming electrical, a group set like, for instance, your Di2 group sets from Shimano, the software provides you the option to completely customize these group sets, so to improve shifting, make it faster, make it slower, or even shift your shifting modes around.
If you're a cycling enthusiast or perhaps an adventurer who likes to cycle up mountain trails, the power of the electric bicycle helps you travel through terrains without effort. There are many different styles of electric bicycle, from front motors to rear motors, throttle-driven systems to electric assist systems. Sophistication of design means the field is ripe with innovation. There are tons of accessories you could add to your current bicycle, or you could opt for a completely new one.
In South Africa, there are a couple available. It's kind of a trend that's starting out, so not a lot of guys are familiar with it, but Easy Bikes is one company that does make electric bikes. Those are one of the bikes that we stock. Shimano also makes their own product, which is very advanced, it's very nice. But there are quite a few different ones, and one can just do some research and you will be able to find the different makes and models.
A popular brand of e-bikes is the Shimano. Their 2016 model program contains a series of components. However, you don't have to wait that long.
Okay, so basics of Shimano Di2 is digital integration in shift systems. So what they've done is Shimano went and said, right, what's the next step up from your standard gears? Because we've evolved our gear systems throughout the different years to becoming very efficient. So what the next logical step from there would have been maybe going for electric. The advantages of electric is, of course, it's very direct. So the moment you push the button, your rear derailleur or your front derailleur does move. Because there's no cables involved, there's no slack in cables that possibly could happen. Because it's motor driven, it's also a little bit more powerful than a cable would have been. So say for instance shifting problems on your front derailleur because it takes a lot of strain, you've got a motor moving that over, so there's no cables that's taking that strain. They've also gone to the next level where on mountain bike specific, you can integrate even your front suspension, your rear suspension into your electronic system. All of those could be customized on your computer from the eTube system, which you basically set up your gears, your fork, when you want your fork to work, how much suspension do you need when you lock it out, how little do you need them to lock out together or separately. All of those functions are customizable on the eTube system. Okay, so basically you get two different types of Di2 systems. The one would be a road system and the next is a mountain bike system. So on road it's the Ultegra Di2 and Dura Ace Di2 systems, two separate group sets. And on mountain bike at the moment we only have the XTR Di2 system, which is for mountain bike.
The South African-produced easy bikes have been around for nearly a decade, and that's due to the battery this machine packs. Some riders have clocked more than 20,000 kilometers.
No, you don't need a license when you purchase an e-bike. Currently, it still falls within the regulations for South Africa, which also falls underneath the European standards. So charging your battery takes about 2 hours. It charges just like a normal cell phone. You plug it into the wall, you charge the battery. It takes about 2 hours to get a full charge. And depending on how you ride it, do you ride it assisted or by itself? If you ride it assisted, you can get up to 70 kilometers. Unassisted, it differs on the rider weight and also the type of terrain you ride, but anywhere between 30 and 35 kilometers, which is basically what the general person commutes every day. E-bikes has got zero emissions, so there's no emissions to an e-bike.
Then you have the S-Way Mars Rover, a single electronic wheel that requires you to balance yourself much like the Segway would have you do. The fundamental difference, instead of having a platform to stand on in between two gyro-controlled wheels and a handle to hold onto, the S-Way Mars Rover has you standing on two pedals either side of the wheel. In places such as China and the US, this mode of transportation is becoming very popular.
Yeah, that's kind of a funky item that's kind of, evolved from your Segway, which was a standard standing up one, pushing forwards and lean to the sides. I think they've used a little bit of initiative, and from there on they've developed a kind of unicycle version of the Segway. And basically what you need is you need to stand on it and obviously balance. And if you lean forward, it goes forward. If you lean backwards, it stops. And you need to lean to the sides to turn. So it runs on a 180 watt motor, about 130 watts less than your e-bike. Charge time again about 2 hours, and then you can also get around about say 12 to 20 kilometers again, depending on rider weight and how fast you ride.
Fusing the traditional with a tad bit of the new, Tekken cycling is bound to get even bigger. Whatever happens, you'll still get to feel the wind in your hair, if you have hair, and enjoy the ride.